I just want to congratulate our football team, everybody associated with the team that's worked so hard to pull this season off. It's been the most trying season, and this has nothing to do with wins and losses. I told the media people, the TV people, when we were 2-0, we were all miserable too. Just, every head coach I've talked to at midfield has talked about how hard this has been. And I just want to congratulate our football team for hanging in there and battling through all the ups and downs, sticking together. It's a really fantastic example of what you can accomplish if you put yourself aside and, quite honestly, don't listen to everybody else and try and focus on your team and your craft. And I was really pleased that those kids got rewarded today. They've done a lot this year for this school, for the league. And I'm talking about all the kids that have played this season, not just our kids, but the kids at Virginia, up and down the league. This has been really, really difficult. And they found a way to pull it off. Obviously, I'm pleased to get the win. And it speaks to a lot of the lessons that we talk about in terms of continuing to work hard and never giving up. So it's a pretty cool locker room down there right now. Pretty cool group of kids, too.
David Teal, you want to lead off?
Justin, several times during the season, you have lamented your tackling. Tonight, I didn't see, but maybe one or two missed tackles. Was that as good a defensive effort as you have had this season?
Yeah, I feel like we have gotten better. Like last week, I thought we played better defensively. I know we were playing Clemson, but I felt better about our performance. We have been in better – we have worked the fundamentals, which I think has helped, but I think we've been in better position, which has helped more than anything. We were able – the last couple of weeks, I think we've played faster on defense. We've played fresher. Part of that's because they haven't been on the field as much, and part of that is because, we're finally getting an understanding of what we're trying to accomplish. I can't understate how difficult it's been. We had really no fall camp either. Our fall camp was really, really disjointed. So, anyway, I felt good about the way our guys played. We looked fast, and we were, rarely out of position.
And then Virginia had one of the best run defenses in the league, and you guys go for 250, 260 tonight. Khalil has the two big runs. Was that a surprise for you, or did you think you could really do some business on the ground tonight?
Oh, I don't know. The big plays were nice to have back. It seems like it's been a little while. We've had to grind some things out, and but to have the big runs, and it was hard sled in there too. I know we have nice statistics, but there were several no gain or minus yardage runs in there. But we were fortunate to hit some creases and get some long ones that certainly helped us out.
Andy?
Yeah, Justin, you guys had the muff punch, turn around, get three stops, and they miss a field goal. They fake a punt and get it. You turn around, get a 3 and out after that. Those kind of seem like sequences where maybe the past couple games, that's where a game could snowball on you a little bit. How pleased were you with the resolve of the defense or just the team to stand up and not really let that bother them?
Yeah, those were big plays. I have liked our demeanor in terms of responding to adversity. We haven't always pulled it off, if that makes sense. I do think that our kids have made a conscious effort to respond. We haven't always executed or, pulled it off, so to speak. But today we did on those two occasions. Thought it was great how they took the field, and again, I just felt like we played fast on the defensive side of the ball.
it's a little warmer than what you would get in mid-December. How was that water bath at the end of the game?
Yeah, totally by surprise. I wish they would have waited another minute or so on the clock, but I mean, I was totally shocked. But I'm glad it was as warm as it was.
Meaningful in a season like this? It's been a trying second half.
Oh, I mean, I see our kids every day, guys. Like, I know what they're doing. I know how hard they're working. I know how much they care, and they know how I feel about them too. So, it's a cool group. Again, I mean, you can talk about the record or the close losses or whatever, but the bottom line is, through incredibly adverse circumstances, these kids stuck together and tried to play their tail off for each other and for Virginia Tech. And, you know, I would be saying the same thing if we hadn't won. They should be commended for that.
Mike Nisley?
Yeah, Justin, Braxton has always shown the ability to be elusive in the pocket with his athleticism, but he was probably as effective as we've seen him reading the defense in the passing game and spreading the ball around. Did you see the same thing, and what were your impressions of him just kind of in the passing game?
Well, the plays that stick out to me were early in the game. On third down, when, you know, the play kind of broke down and we you know, he kind of got on the move and found a way to keep a couple of those drives alive, you know, and we were kind of finding our footing, so to speak, I guess, in the game. And I don't know how many of them there were, Mike, but it seemed like there was a couple or a few where, you know, he ends up moving in the pocket and finding a guy open right at the sticks, and we keep the drive alive and end up getting points. I thought those were as important a plays as he made all night.
And then just starting Braxton, what went into that decision? Just had more confidence with him throughout the week? I mean, what was kind of the decision there?
Yeah, I felt like he gave us the best chance to win under the circumstances we've been dealing with, and you know, he went out there and played his tail off.
And with Khalil Herbert runs, 76 yards in 6 seconds? When you see that and that speed, what goes through your head when you saw that kind of play?
Well, I didn't know how long it took him, but I just know, you know, he hasn't gotten caught very many times in those situations this year, and it was really nice this year to have somebody that can finish those runs. And, you know, we've talked multiple times about making the unblocked tap miss or finishing the long run, and he was able to do that on multiple occasions through the season.
Norm?
Justin, you made a point of saying earlier this week that this is not about you, it's about players, but now that you have snapped a 4-game skid and perhaps, at least for a bit, silence some of the critics, can you breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief at this point?
Listen, I don't like the list of people. Like, I understand coaching football at Virginia Tech, and I understand it's important to a lot of people, and that makes it a good thing. But I don't concern myself with anybody other than a small group of people. And that is the players, that's the coaches, that's the staff, that's my family, and that's God. And I sleep really well at night if I'm in line with those people. So, you know, the biggest thing for this is a sigh of relief that the regular season is over. Okay, win, lose, whatever. Like, this thing's a wrap. And that is a huge relief, because I wish I was a better orator to describe to you how difficult it's been. And it has nothing to do with winning and losing games. It's just the strain and the stress on everybody has just been remarkable. Like I said, I've had 11 conversations at midfield, and they've all been the same before each game. I mean, this is just the hardest thing anybody's ever pulled off, and some people have played 4 games. Like, they have no idea what it's like to do what we've tried to do. And I mean, I can't say enough about our young people.
Have you guys had a definitive conversation yet about a bowl bid?
No, we have not. We'll talk about all that tomorrow.
Okay. Expect a decision tomorrow?
I have no idea, guys.
I mean, whether you'll volunteer.
I'm going to talk to the team about it tomorrow is what I meant to say.
Right.
Yeah, we'll talk about that tomorrow as a team.
You guys were up 13 and then a huge play right before the half, 31 seconds left, 60-yard touchdown catch by Tavion. That's obviously enormous to build a 20-point lead before they get the ball to start the third quarter. How big is that?
That was huge. I mean, I thought it was, really, I don't think the route should have been open in the coverage, but we were able to hold the ball kind of a little bit longer than normal. And, Braxton kind of slid over there and found Tavion. And then, he finally got in the end zone. You think about in Tavion's short career here, how many times he's had, so those big plays and always gone down at the 4-yard line or the 3-yard line. But, he finally got all the way in. It was a huge, bonus play, to be honest with you. You're kind of hoping to get a field goal. It's another similar situation where they've got all their timeouts, and you really don't want them to get the ball back, and so you're trying to get it punched out of there, and then you want to go operate, and then boom, you hit a huge play. You feel like it's bonus points, to be honest with you.
Last thing from me, Oscar's absence in the second half, was that have anything to do with him being one of the first off the sideline to that skirmish at the end of the first half, or was there something else at play?
Oscar Bradburn?
Yeah.
No, he had a pulled hamstring today. So he could hold, but could not punt. So Peter Moore was the punter the whole game. It was kind of sad, to be honest with you, senior day, and he's been fighting it for some time, but been able to go, and he couldn't. We gave him several days off this week. He couldn't go, but he could hold.
Thanks, man.
Aaron,
Justin, one of the guys you referenced this week when you're saying it should be about the players was Divine Diablo. He clinches the game with the pick. He was all over the place laying big hits. How instrumental was he tonight in his leadership and his fire, I guess?
I mean, not to get too sentimental, but the good Lord made a beautiful person with Divine Diablo. I mean, there's not a better heart out there. I mean, this kid he's not a kid anymore, but selfless, hardworking, intelligent, happy, pleasant. To see him go play like that and influence the game like that and kind of send him out, I mean, I can tell you it doesn't mean it's not just me that's affected by him. I mean, that's throughout that locker room. People are out there playing. Those type of people inspire you, and he's one of the many great examples we have of an inspirational person, an inspirational football player.
And another senior, I was a little surprised when I looked at the stats, and I think Holston only had 131 yards this year. It felt like he had more, I guess. He ran pretty hard tonight for you, got some tough yards. Just his final regular season game, assuming it is, what did you think of that?
Well, he's really come on strong, and he's been, he showed up from COVID in great shape, and has been a huge contributor on special teams and has worked his way into getting a bigger and bigger role. I mean, we had a little bit of an issue, particularly early in the year, figuring out Raheem and Jalen, and then Khalil was just going crazy. So some of those guys weren't playing very much. It was just a weird dynamic, and Jalen just stuck to it, continued to work hard, and has played a huge role, the last several weeks for us.
Just to press on Norm's question about bowl, I know you said you'll talk about that tomorrow, but just given what you just said about the meetings at midfield and how difficult everything has been, I mean, there's going to be interest from those guys to go through it all again for another?
I don't know. Like it'll be. I mean, I know you guys are going to ask them all when they come in here, which we haven't talked about it. Like I've told them that it's all up in the air, that we need to focus on this, and that we'll talk about it in the future. So I don't know. I just know. Like I know how I feel, but I'm not saying anything. Like I want them to get what they want. They deserve that. So we'll see.
Travis?
Hey, Coach, could you just sort of go through the range of emotions that you had from senior night, and then obviously the guys going out there and landing on the line and playing well, and then to celebrate at midfield and that sort of mosh pit scene with the cup and so forth? Are those moments kind of what make it worthwhile as a head coach?
Well, it's, we're trying to teach so many things that I believe are really important to these kids' futures. And there's so many forces pushing them in the opposite direction. Not quitting, working hard, being honest, doing things the right way, doing your best every single time, trusting others, working with others, being selfless. All of these things in this world, it continues to change, and it seems like teach other things. And when you have a group that begins to shun the other things and believe in those core values, you want to see them have success. And for me, that's what it's about, is having those guys have success. And, that's why you work hard. That's why you do extra. That's why you're selfless, is so you can enjoy those moments. So I'm just really happy that they were able to enjoy that, the scene and the camaraderie and the relief and the exuberation of winning the rivalry game.
And Dorian obviously had a really good game, had the pick. Was that one of his better performances? I know he's had a few this year. Dorian Strong.
I've been really pleased with Dorian. I just, he's a young player that has no conscience. He just gets out there and plays. And, when he started in the whatever game it was, the Duke game early in the year, you're wondering how he's gonna respond. He got beat on a double move, but got the guy on the ground in the Duke game and just popped up and got ready to play the next play. And that's kind of been his attitude the whole time. He works hard every day to get better. He's a good player that I think is going to get better if he continues to stay the course. And just pleased to see him with an interception and a zigzag return all over the place. I was just screaming for him to take care of the ball. I was worried he was going to get stripped. But it's fun to see him have some success.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
More, Hank?
Hey, Justin, we got a list of 16 players that weren't available tonight. You've had that situation pretty much every week. How much have you used that as a motivation for the guys that could play?
Well, I mean, we don't have 16 COVID cases right now. You know what I mean? We're pretty well through all of that. But, it's just been, like an unbelievable example of a group of people that have to be ready at a moment's notice and to work together and fill holes and morph their roles to try and help the football team. I mean, that's been the biggest thing with all of it, and I think it's pretty cool that our staff has done a great job of that too. Obviously, early in the year, we were shuffling people all over the place.
Mike Barber?
Yeah, Coach, a big picture question. Coaches are often either critiqued, criticized, whatever, on does their team play hard for them kind of week in, week out? And through your tenure, it seems like your players have always showed up on game day. What do you attribute that to? And as a coach and individual, what kind of pride do you take in the fact that that never seems to be an issue with your group?
Well, I'll tell you this. I'll answer that question with a compliment. The team we just played plays really hard. They play really hard. And I think our team got tired of me telling them how hard they play. So, I mean, I take a lot of pride in what we try and do. and how we try and teach it. And I know there's a bigger picture to what we do on a daily basis, and I get wins and losses, and those are important to me too. But really, our job is different than that, and we all take a lot of pride because we're actually in this for the right reasons. And we played against another coach today that's in it for the right reasons too. I can tell you that much. And we enjoy pushing and helping and trying to get the best out of young people. And I do take pride in those things, and I think our kids should too.
Yeah, Khalil, what were you thinking on that long run? I mean, you had a huge haul, and then you seemed to turn on the burners. How do you do that, and what were you seeing on that play?
Just a lot of daylight. You know, guys up front did a great job, opened up a big hole for me to run through. But you know, I promised the guys that I wouldn't get caught again from that BC game if I break. So I was just thinking getting the end zone.
And Coach Fuente said that's kind of been an important element of the offense that you guys have a back like you that can finish those runs. Do you feel that's kind of a strength of your game, just being able to those 20+ yarders, you can do that, and not many backs are capable of that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think so. Just being able to score right then and there, and instead of driving it down the field and maybe getting a field goal, but being able to just punch it in, big plays.
And guys went with Braxton today at quarterback. What did you see from him, and you know, what did you kind of look at him, his performance? What was the biggest part for you guys?
Yeah, Braxton balled today. You know, he just came in there poised all week, just getting used to everything, and you know, he came in and did his thing today. So I'm proud of him.
Thanks.
Andy?
Yeah, Khalil, we see Instagram video of you guys in the locker room dancing and celebrating, and obviously the cup celebration on the field. What is the mood of this team to finish this off in the regular season? Is it relief? Is it just happiness? I mean, where are you guys at right now?
Guys, just happy. You know, we had a rough couple of weeks, so being able to finish out with a big dub, you know, on our rival, is definitely a really great feeling. So, you know, guys, just happy the cup's back home. You know, it's one thing we really wanted to do this year is get it back.
Thank you.
Hank?
My question was just asked. Thank you, Pete.
Mike Barber?
Hey, Khalil, you got off to such a big start with your statistics personally, and then you dealt with the hamstring, and I'm sure that was frustrating. What was it like for you personally to kind of get back on track and have another big game before this year ended?
You know, I wasn't really thinking much into it. You know, I just want to get back to being able to help the team best I could. So, you know, just really getting back to help the team and the offense any way I can, and getting healthy. So.
And I think I saw you post something about accepting a postseason, you know, showcase invite for yourself. Are you 100% certain that you're done playing at Virginia Tech?
Not 100% yet. You know, I'm gonna talk it over with the parents, talk it over with the coaches, but that's something we'll talk about later on.
Thank you.
Mike Nisley?
Yeah, Khalil, just the rivalry game in general. I mean, you said, you know, the players had kind of schooled you about what it was like, but no fans in the stands. But what was it like to participate in this, and then kind of the aftermath? I mean, how do you compare that to games you've played in the past and rivalries you've had? What did that mean to you tonight?
You know, it was just fun. You know, guys jumping around, chippiness, a lot of energy, a lot of emotions. This is actually my first rivalry game dub, so just being able to get it done, and you know, get the cup back home, and you know, celebrate with my brothers is something I never experienced before. So it was real fun.
Thanks.
Mike Barber?
Yeah, I'm just curious, going back to the early success and the success here at the end, what did you see from the offensive line? Because I know they took some criticism during the losing streak.
Just keep going. You know, the guys just pushing. You know, opening up big holes, doing their job, man. That's a talented group up front. You know, guys switch in, plug and play. It's a bunch of guys in that room, just really great, really good at what they do, man. And I'm so excited to see what they got to do and going forward. So.
And obviously you have not been with this program a long time. Was there a part of you that was curious how your teammates, how this group would respond to the losing streak? Would this be a team that maybe kind of quit or gave up, didn't have the motivation at the end?
I actually wasn't curious. Just being around the guys in the locker room, that quit mentality is not in them. That give up mentality is not in them. We've had a rough go, like I said, but we fight through and we figure it out. We fight and we battle for our brothers. So I never had that thought in my mind because I know guys were gonna come out here and leave it out there for the seniors. So.
Thank you.
Jackson,
Yeah, Khalil, obviously, you guys had a big end to the first half there. What was kind of the mood in the locker room going into the second half, and how big was that Tavion Robinson touchdown?
It was definitely big. Everybody was telling him to get out of bounds, but he knew what he could do. Stayed in and scored. I was clown with him. He always gets tackled inside the 5, so he's like, "See, is that good enough?" But he did it. He made a really big play for us going into the locker room, and guys we wanted to finish the job. We had a good first half, but we still had another half to go. So the mindset was just finish it out.
Norm,
Hey, Khalil, what are your thoughts on a possible bowl? Do you want to play in a bowl? Are you done with all the protocol stuff? What's sort of your thought process?
My thoughts. I definitely love to play in a bowl. I've never been to a bowl game, so being able to play in a bowl would be something great. Keep the streak going. So I guess we'll see what happens.
It felt good, just scoring that touchdown, getting a step closer to bringing the cup back. And, yeah, they always joke around about me getting tackled inside the 5 on big plays, but finally getting there, I was excited. I was very happy.
How did you slip that guy on the sideline, and how big of a score was that? I mean, 27-7 is a lot different than 20-7 at halftime.
Oh, yeah. We work drills like that all the time in practice. Once we catch the ball, turn in tight and just rip it up the field because you never know if you'll break the tackle or not. And in that scenario, I did. And once I felt him get by me, I seen space, and I realized I was in bounds, and I just went to score. And that touchdown was big going into halftime, giving us momentum and just pushing for that win.
Mike Nisley.
Yeah, I was curious what you saw from Braxton tonight. First start since week 3. Really seemed to be kind of diagnosing the defense well in the passing game. What'd you see from him?
Braxton played a great game. He did exactly what the coaches needed. He did exactly what the team needed, and it just shows that all those guys in that room are very capable of just going there and making plays for this team. Knox last week, Hendon obviously, and this week it was Braxton. I was just happy seeing him succeed.
And Khalil Herbert ran 76 yards in 6 seconds. When you're a fast guy, when you see that, what goes through your head? And have you raced him before? Are you faster? Is he faster?
The honest truth, he's faster, but between me and him, I'm never gonna let him know that. But seeing him break that, it was definitely impressive. That was actually the fastest I've seen him run all year. And after that Boston College game, me and some of the other guys were joking for getting caught, but he's a fast guy, and it's very deceiving because he also has size, so it's pretty cool.
Aaron.
Hey, Tavion, Coach Fuente said he's going to leave it up to you guys, or at least he's going to get your input about where to go from here if you were to get offered a bowl. Would you be interested in playing a bowl, or?
Of course. We don't really know much information more than what you just told me, but I think if we got a chance to go to a bowl game, we'd definitely go to a bowl game, and further our bowl streak.
Thanks.
Mike Barber.
Yeah, I'm just curious with kind of what Hendon went through last week. Where's kind of the team's confidence in him, and do you think that you guys could have won this game with him tonight?
I think we could have won it with any quarterback out there. And, our confidence hasn't dropped or changed in Hendon. He has a condition where he gets really cold. And, last week it was a really cold night. And, just whenever one quarterback goes down, another one steps up and just keeps working.
What was the emotion like after the game on the field? And obviously you guys have been through a lot this year.
It's a feeling that's hard to explain. That was my first time ever getting the cup, beating UVA, because my freshman year we lost, obviously. But, the emotion, just seeing all those guys happy, it's especially big to send those seniors off with the cup, with a UVA win. And, that emotion, it's still going through me.
Yes, I think
me personally and defense as a whole, this was probably our best game. But yeah, I see what you mean about the tackling.
I mean, did you see it coming during practice this week?
Yes, I had a feeling. I watched a lot of film. Certain throws that the quarterback makes, I had a feeling that I had opportunities to make big hits this week.
Mike Nisley.
Yeah, Divine, Coach Fuente got emotional when talking about you, what, half hour ago. Said, you know, you're a beautiful person, and was really genuine. Can you just talk about that relationship you guys have and what it's like with him?
Well, usually he works with the offense, so I don't see him too often. But I love Fuente, man. He's just a people person. I love being around him, and I do anything for the guy. Going back to, I think I came in with Fuente. I was a Beamer recruit, but I came in with Fuente, and every step of the way he's had my back, and I appreciate him.
Do you remember the first conversation you guys had, the first time you talked to him?
I don't remember the very first conversation. Actually, he came to my high school one time, and he was just making sure that they were still very interested in me, and they wanted me to come up to VT. The second conversation, like actual conversation we had, was in his office talking about the switch to DB, and he was very supportive through all that, so I appreciate him again.
When you look back on that, was that kind of the turning point of your career, that conversation?
Yes, for sure. The switch to DB made me work even harder and think about a lot, think about my future, and it worked out. So, yeah.
And then we've asked everybody so far, we're going to get your wing, and yay or nay on a bowl game?
Yeah, I want one more opportunity to play with my brothers.
Thanks.
Aaron.
As mentioned before, I mean, you did kind of play like a man possessed tonight. I mean, what did you feel like this morning? What did you feel like this afternoon? What did you feel like during this game? I mean, it seemed to be all over the place.
Well, before the game, I didn't feel any different. I was just ready to play. Actually, last year, I don't know if you guys remember, but I got a personal foul because of, I think Du Bois was his name, he was receiver, senior number 8. He was pulling my face mask out of bounds, and I was pushing him. He kept pulling my face mask. And I just remember that, and I just channeled that anger I had that day into this game.
You dropped a pick early in the game and then got another shot at it at the end. How happy were you to be able to redeem yourself with the game-clinching interception there?
I was very happy. The first one, it just caught me off guard because I was right on the tight end, and he still threw it, so I only got one hand up. But the second one, I just read it all the way through, and I made sure I caught that one for sure. I wasn't dropping that one.
Mike Barber.
This has obviously been an unusually difficult year with all the COVID stuff that y'all had to deal with, and then the losing streak. What does it say about your team, your teammates, that there kind of was so much effort here the last couple of weeks despite everything that you've been through?
Man, my teammates are very resilient, and I appreciate every single one of them, especially this week to go through it all. We said we was going to go out there and win this game for the seniors, and that's what they did. They poured their heart out on the field, and I appreciate them.
Jackson.
Yeah, Divine, obviously you guys had a big second quarter there. What was the kind of mood going into the half, not just for the entire team, but mainly the defense and kind of what the offense was able to string together there towards the end of the first half?
Well, I heard you ask about the second. Well, going into the second half, we just, as a defense, we tried to keep it going, keep the same energy, keep the same intensity, not let up. Because at halftime, we just kept saying the score is still 0-0. Keep it going, keep it going. So we went and blow it.
It was huge. It was awesome, and I've been preparing from the jump to have this opportunity, and our team took advantage of it.
Brock, how would you kind of evaluate the way Braxton played?
He played really, really good. As you see, he threw the ball around, ran really well, led us as a team on the offensive side. It led us to victory and really, really played well.
Andy, and for the record, I'd also note these guys are roommates, so.
Guys, you both had to sit and watch last year. as UVA won the cup. What was it like to have to watch that and then come back and have a hand in getting it back?
We actually, watched the game last year together. And as the game wound down and we ended up losing, like, I remember, like, looking at Braxton, and Braxton's like, we're going to get back next year. We're going to get back. And it was just kind of cool to see how, Braxton's prepared all season for this moment, and, he took advantage of it, and we ended up getting it back. So it was awesome.
What is
What
it
he
like
said.
in the? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said what he said.
You guys have had a 4-game losing streak here. It looked like a pretty happy locker room, guys dancing and joking around and stuff. What is it like to get back to that and kind of it's almost like a cleansing feeling to get a win here at the end of the season?
Yeah, I would definitely say it's a cleansing feeling. Definitely to get a win against these guys, as much as they talk, back when we were supposed to play them early in the season, and, it kind of come up and it kind of bit them in the butt.
Norm?
I'll go ahead and ask, since you're going to get asked anyway, what are your opinions on playing in a bowl? Are you interested in doing it, or are you guys done with protocol stuff?
I've never played in a bowl game, so I'd definitely like to.
It's another game, so let's get it.
Cool.
Mike Nisley?
Yeah, Braxton, I don't think we've talked to you since you had those broken toes, and Coach Fuente said you broke the snot out of them. How bad was that injury? And what was going through your head when your foot got stepped on?
It was pretty bad. Definitely didn't feel good. When it happened, I guess I just felt my stomach kind of got queasy, and then I kind of knew like right away that I'd broke them. But as time went on, they've healed pretty well, so I feel good about them now.
Let me note that this dude's one of the toughest dudes you'll ever meet. I mean, he practiced 2 days later with them and casted them up and went to practice so that he could prepare to play if he needed to.
Were you the culprit?
What you mean?
Stepped on his toe?
No. That was not me.
And then just in the passing game, you seem to have one of your more efficient games in your career. Do you feel like you were diagnosing the defenses quicker, or how do you feel kind of that you're able to be so efficient and spread the ball around?
Definitely Coach Korn and Coach Fuente prepared me really well for this game, and every snap I knew what I was looking at, and I felt comfortable with what they were doing and what we were doing, and I knew where the ball was supposed to be, so it was pretty easy tonight.
And then Brock, I saw you guys had cigars again in the locker room. Who was passing them out tonight?
I had about 14 of them I was passing out to the boys, but I mean a bunch of guys brought 5 or 6, so we were just all passing them out, having a good time.
What was that moment like in the locker room in that celebration?
It was really, really fun. As you know, we've been on a losing streak, and to kind of get that win against these guys really meant a lot.
Thanks, guys.
Norm?
Hey, Brock. Coach Fuente was talking about earlier this week how he had a discussion with you after the Clemson game about, you know what you did, and all you said was yes, sir, and sounded like you might have been a little bit of a competition this week with Zach. What was your week like leading into this game? Was there a competition, and did you feel like there was a chance you might lose that job?
No, I mean, Coach Vice talked to me on Sunday. I mean, he still told me that I was the guy that we were going to go with and everything like that. He just told me, I got to play smarter, and I really focused on that tonight. I still tried to keep my edge and play aggressive as possible, and really get in the other team's head. But I had to keep my cool on certain plays where I was teetering on that line. So just focus on that, and kept me penalty free this game.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Aaron?
Hey guys, I think just on the outside thought both teams would be in the 30s on points tonight. You guys obviously did your part, but can you speak to what the defense did tonight? Played, I think, one of their better games of the year for sure.
Yeah, our defense played amazing. I mean, every single time UVA had the ball, we were looking at our defense, just get those stops, and it kept motivating us as an offense to go and roll and score. And I mean, they really shut them down and held them to what, 15? I mean, that was an amazing performance on their part.
And a lot of that had to do with their preparation throughout the week, whether it was with scout team or we were doing like good on good, like us giving a look of like what Virginia runs and stuff like that. And they did a great job preparing. And I mean, you could see it tonight. They were playing fast.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they almost had some Brock Hoffman style emotion in them too.
Yeah, I would say that for sure. They, I mean, obviously it's a rivalry game. Nobody likes them, but you know, we just had to get after them as much as we could.
Mike Barber, do you have something?
Yeah, I'm curious. I know you guys were around the program last year, but didn't get to play. This has been such a trying year with the COVID stuff. You have a losing streak. How impressed are you with the way this team continued to play hard through all of that?
We're really a big family, so whenever there's an opportunity in front of us, we all know that the person to our left and the person to our right is going to step up and play. And so we had a good feeling about this one all week, and we were all really excited to be able to get on the field and go try to get the cup back, and I think you guys saw it tonight.
Same.
One more,
Yeah.
Jackson? Go ahead, Jack.
No, I was agreeing with Braxton.
Jackson?
Yeah, Braxton. Obviously, that Tavion Robinson play was, one of the big, almost felt like turning points. Take a big lead before the half. What did you kind of see on that play in particular from Tavion, and what was kind of the route plan there?
He had a curl, and my first read was in the middle of the field, and then the safeties rotated away from it, so he kind of had a one-on-one matchup, and I mean, he made the guy miss and got up the sideline. Tavion can make big plays all the time, and that was a huge play and gave us a lot of momentum going to the half.
And what did you both kind of sense the mood to be after that touchdown? Being able to pull out a little bit, higher. How did the mood at halftime feel, and how were you guys kind of feeling going into the second half?
Our mood at halftime was we were still hungry. I mean, we still wanted to put up as much points as we could against them, and hold them to as little as we could. But I mean, we were still really hungry at halftime, and we just wanted to keep going out there and scoring and being efficient.